Right now, America is trying to change the rules in the gold and cryptocurrency markets. Remember how much debt they have: $35 trillion. Essentially, these are two alternative segments to the global currency market. Washington's actions in this direction clearly demonstrate one of America's main objectives. They are very eager to solve the problem of declining trust in the dollar. The US, just as it did in the 1930s and 1970s, will solve its financial problems at the expense of the entire world, driving everyone where? Into the cryptocurrency cloud. Over time, when part of the US national debt is placed in stablecoins, the US will devalue that debt. Once again, in simple terms, right now they have a $35 trillion currency debt. They move it into crypto, into the cloud, devalue it, and start from scratch. This is for those who really love dealing with crypto.
Russia has made a shocking claim that the United States may be seeking to offload its staggering $35 trillion national debt by leveraging cryptocurrencies and gold. Anton Kobyakov, a senior advisor to President Vladimir Putin, made the remarks during the Eastern Economic Forum in Vladivostok. He claimed that Washington intends to rewrite the rules of the cryptocurrency and gold markets in an effort to circumvent the traditional global currency system. Putin Aide warned U.S. is exploiting world crypto users to pay its eye-watering $35 trillion debt. Kobyakov claimed that the U.S. will push everyone into cryptocurrencies after moving its debt into the crypto cloud and then devalue it. He further warned that the U.S. could convert some debt into stablecoins and then devalue them, effectively starting from scratch. Russian advisor highlighted that the U.S. national debt, now the largest in the world, is owed not only to foreign governments and institutional investors, but also to millions of American citizens through Treasury securities. According to Kobyakov, these moves are intended to address declining trust in the U.S. dollar on the global stage. Kobyakov warned that using cryptocurrencies in this manner could pose major risks to global financial stability. This comes amid growing debate over the role of digital currencies in reshaping global finance and the dollar's dominance.
The Americans change of the rules of the game by sharply raising tariffs for those who work well and have a surplus with them. In mutual trade, this marks the beginning of major changes. First of all, the division of the greater Eurasian economy into macroeconomic zones will accelerate even more. The demand within Southeast Asia alone is such that it can easily replace two European markets. From the discussions on our forum, it is clear that countries are ready to join forces in order to solve the most important issues together within the greater Asian space. Issues of food security, energy security, and security in general. In the literal sense of the word, there have been reports that the Americans are already buying eggs, chicken eggs from Russia. A trouble shared is a trouble halved. Secondly, everyone will have to prepare for major changes in the global economy and even for possible economic shocks, because Pan America will not collapse just like that. This will not go unnoticed. The United States has not only become more active on the diplomatic front, they are actively pressuring their main trading partners with tariffs, trying to reduce their trade deficit in this way, while simultaneously seeking to improve the budget deficit situation. So far, they are doing this very successfully. Right now, America is trying to change the rules in the gold and cryptocurrency markets. Remember how much debt they have: $35 trillion. Essentially, these are two alternative segments to the global currency market. Washington's actions in this direction clearly demonstrate one of America's main objectives. They are very eager to solve the problem of declining trust in the dollar. The US, just as it did in the 1930s and 1970s, will solve its financial problems at the expense of the entire world, driving everyone where? Into the cryptocurrency cloud. Over time, when part of the US national debt is placed in stablecoins, the US will devalue that debt. Once again, in simple terms. Right now, they have a $35 trillion currency debt. They move it into crypto, into the cloud, devalue it, and start from scratch. This is for those who really love dealing with crypto. The game will end very quickly, within 3 to 5 years. Obviously, both China and India. The world isn't just moving to a new type of financial system. The world is moving away from fiat money and dividing into zones. And what about us? We continue to do our homework. The task of rapidly transitioning to a supply-side economy is now front and center, right in front of us. It is necessary to boost demand, pulling production up along with it. And this was discussed at the Eastern. We talked a lot about this at the forum. In general, we have to honestly admit to ourselves that simple import substitution means losing momentum. That stage is already behind us. Today, we need breakthroughs both technologically and organizationally. Let me remind you that following the results of the St. Petersburg International Economic Forum, the President of Russia gave a number of instructions. Specifically, by October 1st, the government must develop and approve plans for structural changes in the country's economy. Structural changes. We need to change the structure of employment and consumption, improve the quality of the investment climate, increase the level of technological development, change the structure of foreign trade, increase efficiency in the field of defense and security, develop ideas for creating a new national trade model. In addition, the central bank, together with the government, must ensure the transition to the widespread use of the digital ruble, including its application in the budget process. In general, all these tasks are directly linked to the topic of developing the Far East. It is vitally necessary to change the structure of the labor market. In a short period of time, in addition to developing technologies and artificial intelligence, we need to make a significant leap in robotics and increase labor productivity. All the countries in the region are ahead of us in this area, and by a wide margin. In South Korea, for example, there are 1,000 robots per 10,000 people. In Singapore, there are 700. In China and Japan, there are 400, while we have only 16. The shortage of personnel, especially in the Far East, where it is necessary to turn the outflow of population into an inflow, forces us to robotize and automate everything much more vigorously. And as for how the service sector will change in the next 5-7 years, we simply can't even imagine it right now. We need to stimulate these changes. This can be done through tax policy. And the President, he spoke about this yesterday at the plenary session. The structure of consumption must change. The existing stratification in society is a sign of the times for all countries, for Southeast Asia, and for Asia in general, by the way, as well. We also need to adapt both our tax and financial systems to this. For this, a different level of investment climate is needed in the country. We discuss all of this and develop proposals within the framework of the Eastern Economic Forum, the St. Petersburg Economic Forum, and the Legal Forum. Without economic growth, a business-friendly monetary policy, and stable currency, it will be difficult. We are already changing the structure of foreign trade. Exporting everything cannot be the only way for a country with a domestic market of 150 million people to develop. We need to develop domestic demand and our own supply to meet that domestic demand. China is importing cars to us, just think about it, already to the tune of $2.4 billion. China is trading cars with us for $2.4 billion. We will have to change the trade model for all of this as well. As our president has said and continues to say, if you buy everything with the income from oil and gas, you can lose your competitiveness and along with it, your sovereignty.